This is Defense Domain, your source for strategic insight on global security, defense systems, and geopolitical risk. This is the weekly strategic brief. Week 11 covers the period from March 14 to March 19, 2026. This week marks a significant expansion of the Iran war across multiple regional fronts. Disruption in the Strait of Hormuz has triggered a global energy shock. At the same time, the United States is exploring both ground and maritime escalation options. Energy infrastructure is now the primary battle space. Targeting of production and transport systems is reshaping the conflict's economic impact. Maritime threats are expanding across key global routes. From a strategic perspective, alliances are shifting. Initial reluctance is giving way to conditional engagement. Coalition behavior is becoming more flexible and interest-driven. Turning to the strategic overview, energy infrastructure has become the central link between military operations and global economic stability. Disruption in the Strait of Hormuz demonstrates how asymmetric tactics can generate disproportionate global consequences. Regional conflict is now producing systemic global effects. At the same time, alliance cohesion is under strain. States are balancing security commitments with domestic economic pressures. This is resulting in fragmented responses and conditional participation. Technological diffusion is accelerating these dynamics. Low-cost and scalable systems are eroding the dominance of high-end platforms. Deterrence is increasingly defined by industrial capacity and cost efficiency. The overall trajectory points toward prolonged, multi-domain conflict. Systemic impacts on global markets and alliance structures are intensifying. Turning to regional conflict dynamics. Within 3 weeks, the conflict has expanded across multiple theaters. Missile campaigns have reached sustained levels. Maritime attacks are disrupting commercial shipping and energy flows. The conflict is no longer geographically contained. Operational linkages across Lebanon, Iraq, the Gulf, and the Eastern Mediterranean are increasing interdependence between theaters. The conflict has evolved through distinct phases. It began with leadership targeting and immediate retaliation. It expanded across maritime, proxy, and cyber domains. It has now entered a sustained multi-domain phase centered on infrastructure targeting. Recent developments indicate a structural shift. Initial decapitation strikes have transitioned into systemic degradation. Energy systems, military enablers, and export nodes are now primary targets. Geographic containment has shifted to a networked conflict structure. Multiple fronts are now operationally linked. Escalation is no longer episodic. It is continuous and persistent. Proxy warfare has become a layered and enduring component. Iran-aligned groups are sustaining pressure across multiple fronts. Turning to key operational developments. Across Lebanon, Iraq, and Syria, conflict zones are becoming interconnected. This expansion increases the likelihood of prolonged instability. The United States is considering scenarios involving ground deployments. Potential objectives include control over strategic infrastructure. This reflects a shift toward higher escalation thresholds. In South Asia, tensions between Pakistan and Afghanistan are intensifying. Cross-border operations are becoming sustained rather than episodic. In Eastern Europe, strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure are generating cross-border environmental risks. This expands the impact of the conflict beyond immediate battle zones. Turning to energy and maritime security, the Strait of Hormuz remains a critical choke point. Iran's use of mines, drones, and missile threats is disrupting global energy flows. This demonstrates how maritime choke points can be used as systemic leverage points. Energy infrastructure is increasingly targeted. Strikes on production and export nodes are directly linked to economic disruption. Coalition dynamics in maritime security are evolving. Allies are moving from reluctance toward conditional participation. This reflects a shift toward modular coalition structures. In Europe, energy leverage is creating internal divisions. Disruptions in pipeline systems are influencing political decision-making. Mine warfare is emerging as a major operational risk. Maintaining maritime access now requires complex and sustained operations. Turning to hybrid threats, the information environment is becoming more contested. Conflicting narratives and limited transparency are increasing strategic ambiguity. Artificial intelligence is amplifying disinformation. Synthetic media is shaping international perception and decision-making. Cyber operations are expanding into geopolitical competition. Sanctions targeting cyber actors reflect the growing importance of the digital domain. Turning to defense technology and industry, low-cost interceptor systems are reshaping air defense economics. Affordable solutions are proving effective against higher-cost threats. Directed energy weapons are gaining operational momentum. They offer a potential solution to the cost imbalance in countering drone attacks. Precision strike capabilities are expanding into the maritime domain. Land-based systems can now target moving naval assets. At the same time, industrial challenges persist. Disputes within European defense programs are slowing progress. This raises concerns about long-term strategic autonomy. Turning to global power competition, alliance fragmentation is becoming more visible. NATO members are demonstrating conditional engagement rather than automatic alignment. Coalition structures are evolving. States are participating based on specific interests rather than fixed commitments. Russia and Iran are signaling closer alignment. Cooperation in cost-efficient military systems is increasing. Smaller states are reassessing their strategic positioning. Geopolitical shifts are influencing alignment decisions across regions. Efforts to restore non-proliferation frameworks continue. However, uncertainties remain regarding long-term risks. Turning to future conflict dynamics, modern conflict is becoming infrastructure-centric. Energy systems are directly linked to economic and societal disruption. Agricultural systems are also being affected. Energy market dynamics are reshaping food production strategies. Renewable energy expansion is accelerating. States are seeking resilience through diversification of energy sources. From a cross-domain perspective, several structural patterns are emerging. Interdependence is being weaponized. Energy and transport networks are used to generate systemic shocks. Security architectures are becoming modular. Flexible coalition models are replacing rigid alliance systems. Cost asymmetry is redefining warfare. Low-cost systems are challenging traditional military advantages. Looking ahead to next week, European Union decisions on Ukraine financing will be critical. Developments in the Strait of Hormuz will be closely monitored. The United States may reach a decision point on ground deployment. Iranian naval mine activity remains a key uncertainty. Outcomes of European defense program negotiations will be important. Shifts in energy and agricultural policy in Ukraine will also be tracked. This was the Defense Domain Weekly Strategic Brief. For more in-depth analysis, visit defensedomain.com. Stay informed. Stay strategic.